So it's about the third week of January, and my goal right now is to increase the amount of worms that I have, and most importantly, increase the amount of castings that I have. My gardening season here in Connecticut begins, well, planting wise, about 3 months, 3 to 4 months. I want as many castings as I can have. So what I'm going to do today is we're going to take one of my breeder bins and we're going to split it. One is going to continue as a breeder bin. The other one is going to be a grow out bin, a castings creation bin. I'm also at this time going to do a couple of other bins, split them up. I raise honeybees, and the way you increase the amount of honeybees and more honey that you have is you split them. And you take one, you make two, you make three, sometimes even four, depending on the size of that honeybee hive. You can do the same thing with the worms. And what that's going to allow me to do is to have more castings and more worms when it comes time that I really need them. Moby here is doing great. As you can see, I've added, if you've seen the other Moby videos of the big Moby bin, which actually in about 2 weeks is going to slide over and get a little bit larger. But you can see these three bins here. These were splits from my other grow out bins. My worms that were not quite breeders, a lot of them were breeders, but they were mostly just worms making castings. Those are three more. The breeder bin and the bin that I made the original breeder bin into a breeder bin and another bin along with it is over in one of my other areas over here. But let's go upstairs. I'm going to show you how I took that breeder bin, made two bins out of it to make more castings and to make more worms. Let's do it. Yep, I'm running late. I am so late that nobody give me any stuff over my dirty sleeves. I've been working the worms all morning, but I want to get this bin done. What we're going to do today is basically separate the breeder worms from this bin that should have been done about a month ago. I'm late. We're going to separate these worms, put them into another bin, and let all the babies and the rest of the cocoons stay in this bin right here. So let's get to it. Now, yeah, I should have done this back a while ago, and I didn't get around to it. It kind of slipped my mind. But in reality, this is actually a really, really good time for doing this. And the reason why is I don't raise earthworms for sale. I raise them for their compost for my farm. And by splitting this up into two bins, I'm going to have more compost when the time comes. So the main goal today, I'm not doing a light separation because I want the worms to be relaxed so I can see the clitellum. Those are the worms we're after today. Oh yeah, there's a lot of young ones, but a lot of adults in here. That one looks like it probably just released a cocoon not too long ago. I want to get a good, well, 3/4 of a pound to start the new bin off with, the new breeder bin. Yeah, these are nice. Again, I'm not doing a separation of anything other than separating the mature worms from the young worms. The young worms will habitat, well, they'll be in the original bin, and all the breeders will go into a new bin. Well, there's a lot of young worms in here. I didn't expect them to be that big or that many. You two look like you were almost together. I want to do this as quick as possible. Number one, I haven't had lunch yet. Number two, I want these guys to not get all agitated with me. I'm going to go down to where I fed last. That's probably where most of the worms are going to be. Yeah, I just fed the other day, so they're all up in this area. Now, I'm not going to bore you guys with me going through this bin and picking out every single worm. So I'm going to kind of shut this down, and we'll come back in a few minutes. It'll be just a second in YouTube land on video, and we'll see how the rest of it goes. Okay, so through the magic of video editing, what just took me a long time to do is done. In the process, I was picking out the cocoons. Well, very quickly I went through and picked out a whole bunch of them, but I spilled it. Yeah, that's what happens when you get into a hurry. So I picked out, I'm going to say, about 750 of the breeders, and we're just going to plop them right in here. Now again, the reason why I'm not growing worms. I just want more compost, and to get more castings, you need more worms. So we're going to let these guys inhabit this brand new, I'm going to call it a breeder bin because 99% of them are breeders, and some cocoons. And that means within a couple of months, this will be filled out, and they'll have made not only more worms, but also maybe a good bunch of castings. All right, so in a nutshell, what we did today was we took a breeder bin and we divided it. We made up a brand new bin with my pre-compost, everything that I put into a new bin that had sat for a couple of days, so the microbiology in that bin would be suitable for those worms to be transferred into that bin, and they're doing great. I think it's important when you're looking at worm farming and what you want to do. What do you want? Do you want worms? Do you want castings? Do you want a combination of both? It's important to plan in advance. So that's a little bit of what this whole video was about. I hope you got something out of it, learned a little bit. If you did, you want to see more of this kind of content, please feel free to hit the subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up. I appreciate you watching. Thank you.